Hi, everybody. I wanted to take a moment and record uh, a presentation that I hope supplements the video and articles for the cover letter assignment that you have due. So I have a few slides that I wanted to share and kind of look at a sample. So today we're talking about why cover letters or how to make a cover letter and do it pretty simply. Starting with why does a cover letter matter? I would say one of the biggest pieces that comes up with a cover letter is that it supplements or complements a resume. So in a resume, you're often using quick hitting bullet points that just get straight to the point, often not even using complete sentences. A cover letter is going to be a sample of your writing. It's going to give you a chance to speak directly to your employer and talk about things that maybe you can't on a resume. For instance, maybe you're changing careers. Maybe you took a break. Maybe you have a dream job of working at a specific company, but it's an opportunity for you to set yourself apart from others. And again, it supplements the resume. Um, Sometimes people struggle with writing one, especially the first time, is like they're not sure like where do I start? What are they looking for? Or even struggling to connect your experience to opportunity. So I have a few tips that I wanted to share. First one is start strong. I would say with anything that you're submitting for a job, whether it's a resume or a cover letter, you almost want to assume that somebody that's reading it is looking for reasons to get your resume or cover letter out of the pile. I've been on numerous search committees, and usually what I'm doing is looking for the applications that aren't related or aren't capturing my attention, and then I'm kind of getting rid of those first. So a good way to do that is to start strong by getting attention. You'll see most cover letters may start with something like I'm writing to apply for, and after a while the reader gets almost bored with the same thing over and over again. So here's an example. You could do something like as a first year student with a passion for early childhood education, or it's always been my dream to work for West Valley College, or something else that's catchy and highlights your experience, your passion, and your personality. Um, the second thing would be to use real examples. And you can highlight skills with stories. So what happens a lot of times is people will try to put in a laundry list of experience, or they'll put in like really vague details, like I'm a hard worker, I work well in a fast-paced environment, and it doesn't really do much for the reader because we don't have context. So an example of that, using a student example, could be something as simple as the one I have here. In my last semester, I worked on a group project where I led the design and outreach plan. This taught me how to organize tasks and manage deadlines, skills I'd bring to this internship. So right off the bat, I'm seeing leadership, teamwork, communication, direct technical with the design and outreach, organization, managing deadlines, a lot of different skill sets in this one or two lines. And this would get me excited to talk to the candidate. Another thing that's really important is staying professional, but still human. So you want to be kind of natural, like how you talk in an interview, avoiding slang or casual language. That often can get you seen as maybe being cocky or overconfident, or maybe even somebody that the interviewer just might not be able to trust. Um, and also staying away from stiff language like to whom it may concern, or I'm a highly motivated individual. If you could find the exact people to um, address the letter to, that would be great. If you can't, that's okay as well. I think it's really more staying away from things that'll get you taken out of the pile, like using um, slang or overly casual language is a big one. And then finally, formatting, or not finally, but formatting. Simple things like what I like to do is have the same header on the resume as you do for the cover letter. So it almost looks uniform, or it does look uniform, including your name and your contact info. If this is an actual letter, you would put the date and recipient, and keeping it simple. there's nothing wrong with just keeping a real simple 3 paragraphs: intro, example, and close, and then ending it with something simple like sincerely. There's a sample that we'll look at. It's in the assignment, and we'll pull it up here in a second. But that's a great one to copy, especially for your first try. So here's where we're going to lean into AI if you would like. So if you're getting stuck, you could try a prompt like this. It's in the assignment. What I would do and what I would recommend is to use AI to help you revise, but make sure that you revise so it does actually sound like you. I'll give you an example that happened just a few weeks ago. I was on a search committee. The search committee saw numerous cover letters. Many of them were overly polished, and it was clear that AI had been used. And some people on the committee were really turned off by that. The thinking was, you can't even write your cover letter for me. There was concern. Now, we can debate pros and cons of that, but I'm telling you now that was concern and hindered candidates for sure. But what I would say is for this assignment, you could try using the prompt. And in the assignment, there's also details on how you would cite your assignment if you decided to use ChatGPT. Final thoughts as well. Your cover letter, your resume are living documents. What I mean by that is they're going to constantly be updated as you take on new experiences, new challenges, you gain new skills, and your best bet is highlighting a specific cover letter to individual jobs, companies, etc. And really practicing now so that when the opportunity comes, you're not starting from square one. That's really my goal. Of course, you can always drop into office hours or message me through Canvas. Like I always say, you've got this. So I'm going to pull up this resume and cover letter guide that's in your assignment. And I'm just going to walk through a sample here real quick. So what you'll see here, like I was stating earlier, you got your information here, your header, you're listing this to the company. This is really designed as if the cover letter was a written letter accompanying the resume. We know sometimes it's going to be in an email, and this would look slightly different. You'll see right at the top, this does exactly what I said not to do, which is I'm excited to apply for the behavioral therapist position. Imagine yourself seeing this 50 times. You're going to get bored. I would say maybe you even could start with something like with a degree in psychology from San Jose State and a strong commitment to supporting youth with learning disabilities, blah, 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 blah. That might be a really nice intro, but maybe not putting this thing in here. What they also did in their example here is giving context for their academic journey or their degree and how they have a personal connection to the field. And they're also citing an internship with specific skill sets and experiences that they've gained. And they've focused a little bit more down here with things like their senior paper. Finally, at the end, they've talked about why this specific company. And that's really important too. You definitely want to do that so it's not this cookie cutter example, because the cookie cutter examples, again, are something that the reader will see over and over again. My recommendation for this assignment, if you can find a specific job that you'd like to apply for, do it for that, or even make one up. If you can't and do one more generally, and that's where you're starting from, that's okay too. My goal is to get you started or enhancing a cover letter if you haven't already done that. I hope this helps. I'll see you all soon, either in office hours or message me. Thanks.